The St. Louis County Prosecutor handles some of the toughest cases in the Midwest. Tonight at 6:30, News 4's Lauren Traeger sits down with Wesley Bell to talk about the high-profile Beau Rothwell murder trial and expanding his office's work.
Thank you so much. I am joined right now by St. Louis County Prosecutor Wesley Bell. Thank you so much for being here with us.
My pleasure.
So a lot to talk about today. One of the first things, though, is this recent, very high-profile trial of Beau Rothwell, now convicted of murdering his wife, who was pregnant at the time. Tell us a little bit, what did you make of his defense, and were you proud of your team for prevailing on that first-degree murder charge?
You know, it's just a sad case. A young lady who had such a bright future. She was smart and you know, according to her family, just a very nice young lady. And to see her life taken in such a tragic way by her husband, of all people, is just terrible. And so, you know, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, when we're able to bring justice to a family, this is the best job in the world, but it's tempered by the fact that, you know, a tragedy like this had to happen. And so, our thoughts and prayers are obviously with the family and just terrible circumstances.
Another high-profile case we've been looking at are the deaths of two MoDOT workers in an accident, one of whom was also pregnant there. No charges have been yet filed in that. Can you talk to us a little bit about why? So,
you know, as prosecutors, we have a ethical duty to make certain that we have detailed and thorough investigations. And sometimes it takes time, unfortunately. You know, our law enforcement partners are doing everything that they can to give us the case as far as with respect to their investigation. And, you know, and sometimes there are nuances to cases, and that would be the example in this case. And we have to make certain that we get it right. And so that's our ethical duty, that's our legal duty. And so we, you know, victims and families, they never want to hear this, and I get it. They want justice for their loved one, and so do we. But we, you know, we took an oath to bring justice, and whatever that looks like, and so we have to make certain that we do a thorough and detailed investigation.
Another thing always on your caseload, of course, are officer-involved instances, whether they're shootings or others. So many more municipalities now are getting body cameras, and around the country, other cities are committed to releasing that footage relatively quickly, within a period of time. Do you think that St. Louis County and the region should be doing that? Should we be releasing those videos in the interest of transparency?
Yeah, I think so. And one thing that the St. Louis County Police Department has done, and this is something that we had conversations with them years ago, and so I'm really excited about what they're doing. And they've looked at the Los Angeles model and a couple other departments that have used this model where that footage is going to be released within 45 days. Now, there are exceptions if there's an ongoing investigation and it could compromise the investigation, but aside from that, that footage will be released. And I think that's the right thing to do from a transparency standpoint. One problem that we've had, and this is not just in the St. Louis region, but nationwide, is that there's sometimes a deficit of trust with law enforcement, with prosecutors as well as police departments. And I think this is a way to counteract that. I think it's a way to show the public that, hey, we're doing everything. This is what we're doing. This is the footage, and letting everyone see that and be transparent. And I think that's a good thing.
Why 45 days, though, versus 48 hours or a week?
Because there are some times where you're just not able to do it. And I'll give you a perfect example. Even if we wanted to do the Galleria shooting, if you remember, if we wanted to do that sooner, you're talking about 55, somewhere around 50 different surveillance cameras. And when you release those things, you have to make sure that you're protecting those who aren't involved, and sometimes witnesses, for example. And so you got to go through those frame by frame to make sure you're not compromising an investigation or endangering a witness.
Moving on, the County Council recently appropriated some funds for you to hire additional prosecutors. Why is that so needed at this time?
One, I want to say that I'm really proud that this was a bipartisan effort, 6-1 by the council, so Republicans, Democrats alike, law enforcement, community groups, all sending in support letters to support us. And you know, essentially what we've seen, Lauren, is that our county has gone from a suburban county 30, 40, 50 years ago to more of an urban county. And so that means an increase in crime, unfortunately. And as a result, our office and law enforcement is doing their job, and so they're bringing us more cases, and so that means we have more cases that we have to prosecute and bring home to convictions or what have you. And so we need more bodies to do that. When we get about 10,000 or so referrals from law enforcement a year, and we have 65 attorneys, you can do the math. We needed the bodies, and I'm really proud that the council, as well as all of our community partners and law enforcement partners, agreed and supported it.
Concerned, though, that that funding will sunset. I mean, are you concerned that there won't be additional funding moving forward to continue staffing those positions?
You know, one piece of advice I was given is that your budgetary decisions reflect your values. And if public safety is a value that this county and the residents, which I know that they do value this, as well as our county executive and county council members, then we'll address that issue in a manner that will help us with that mandate for public safety. And so, you know, that's something that we'll talk with the council and the county executive about. And we have laid out why we need these bodies. We've laid out the numbers, the caseloads that we have for our attorneys, and that it's needed. And so I think that we'll get something done.
Lastly and briefly, this is an election year for you. Only one other candidate, a Libertarian, has filed, so you'll likely have another term as prosecutor. What are your future aspirations? Is that it for you, or do you want to seek a higher office?
Oh man, Lauren, this job is tough enough that, you know, I think I need to focus on what I'm doing. You know, we have a great group of men and women who are dedicated to public safety and they're dedicated public servants, and I'm proud to work alongside of them. And so right now, this is enough to do the difficult job of prosecuting cases in St. Louis County. So for now, I'm happy where I am, and this is where I plan to be.
And unfortunately, no shortage of cases either. So
No
we'll let
short-
you get back to working on that. Thank you so much for your time and for being here.
Thanks for having us, Lauren.
Thank you. We'll send it